Okay, up next is Luxury Cafe Owner, written by Andrew Reese. It is 266 pages, $3.99. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. Here's the author's description. Alan Pender, a bored 20-something college graduate with a degree in general studies, woke up the day after graduation and suddenly realized his degree was useless and he had to get a job. As he walked around looking for help, wanted signs, a series of unfortunate accidents occurred, resulting him entering a coma. When he woke up, he discovered he'd been granted a mysterious system. However, the system finally provided him with some direction about what he should do with his life. Follow Alan and as he explores his newfound calling. So there you go. That's the novel description. This is a real-life RPG story that is satirical. It's intentionally parody, and it's funny. That's kind of the draw of it. It's the main character gets a sentient RPG interface, but the system just wants to build up and train the main character so he can create the universe's best luxury cafe. Everything else in the story is a chill slice of life adventure, and you kind of just follow the main character as he quests, gain coffee-themed powers, realizes the power of the ultimate cafe. Just be aware that this is a very specific kind of story. It's fairly light on the RPG mechanics. And it's a slower paced story. That's kind of an issue for some people who, when you look at the Amazon reviews, that was definitely an issue for some people. It's like, this is too slow. Nothing really is happening. I'm like, yeah, that's a slice of life story. It's something world. It's a slower story. There is no action or fighting in this thing at all. So if that's what you're into, that's what you're feeling like today or whatever, this is not the story for you. It really isn't. It's a very chill, sometimes too chill, kind of slice of life adventure where you're literally just following the main character as he does stuff, whether it's getting his first job at a cafe or as a barista and dealing with customers and getting his ultimate cup of coffee powers, or getting his own cafe and trying to figure out social media. There's literally a chapter where the main character deals with social media issues, and I'm like, okay, that's a deliberately slowly paced story, and it just is what it is. If that's something that appeals to you, don't read it. I mean, but if you can deal with that, this was an enjoyable story for me, I should say, because I'm okay with that though. I'm okay with like a very chill, kind of relaxed, kickback story like this. The only minor negative grab I probably had personally was that the main character came off kind of whiny sometimes, but that's part of his character development. I get that. Again, there is no action here. It really is just follow the main character as he gets his coffee-filled adventures. But again, the things that I want to highlight are, there's a good sense of humor. There's a very snarky RPG interface. There's nice banter between the interface and the main character. Those are probably the bigger things there. It's intentionally a parody of system stories where like somebody gets a magical system and they go do a thing. The author at the end of the novel in the afterward says that was his intention, and he does that. He also wanted to try to, twist the trope a little bit, and I think he does that as well. But again, this is kind of a slower story, so just be aware of that. I liked it. I like those things about it. It mostly can be entertained. I don't think I'd read a second book in this. I think this is supposed to be a standalone story by the ending. But it's one of those, like, it's a one and done. I don't think I would read a second book in the series, just because of the way it's set up and structured. Perfectly fine as a book one. But again, on the lower end of my enjoyment scale. So for me, it's a 7.2 out of 10. Good story, just again, on the lower end of that. So that's Luxury Cafe Owner with a score of 7.2 out of 10.